Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Daro here with another Options and Play video update. So as we roll into June here, earnings will slow down a little bit. There are some events coming up in the market that should lead to volatility, but this coming week it'll be a little bit slower from a scheduled earnings perspective. You do have the CPI reading on Friday, which will be a big market event, but on the earnings calendar, definitely slows down a little. Monday before the open, there's really nothing of interest. After the close, Coupa. So you have two software stocks. Coupa is pricing in about 12 points. It's been a lagging software name. Was really rocked last quarter. It does seem like a tight setup. It's been kind of spinning and chopping in a lower range for a few weeks, and it seems like it should move, but just 12 points options just they're not really cheap, and these types of stocks they're still just not seeing huge moves higher if the numbers are decent versus like downside risk still seems pretty sizable. So um, if I did anything, it might still be more of on the bear focus, but I also may just wait and look at it after the numbers come out. GitLab, so about 10 points is what's priced in on this, but those are monthly options. Last quarter was solid. It's been pretty volatile since then. It does seem to have room in either direction, and I guess one of the issues I have with it is just that there's no weeklies available, so you got to pay for that little extra time, which kind of pushes the price of the options up. So maybe if I can get risk down on either side, I'll look at a strangle, but probably gonna be more of a game time decision for me. Before they open on Tuesday, there's a couple restaurant stocks, but they're really not that interesting. Cracker Barrel, I haven't traded this in a while. It's pricing in about 8.5 points. Those are monthly options. Dave and Buster's, it's pricing in like 4 points, but I don't think I'm going to do anything with them. Also, you have United Natural Foods, which is about 6 points. Those are monthly options, actually too. Yeah, occasionally this one has been a mover, and there's been some recent volatility in consumer food names, so maybe it's something to look at. It's just not something I trade much. And options they're not I don't I feel like they're not cheap, so it might be something I look at as like a day after type trade. After the close on Tuesday, a couple like lesser followed software names. Guidewire, it's priced in about 7 points. Those are monthly options. Um, Actually, both of these are kind of similar charts. The other one's Smartsheet, which is pricing in about 5.5 points. And I'd say of the two that maybe Smartsheet is the more consistent when it comes to movement around earnings. But for both of these, you have to pay for monthly options, and I guess even with that, there might still be a little bit of room on Smartsheet for a volatility strategy, maybe. Wednesday before the open, Campbell Soup. So it's priced in about 2.5, or sorry, about 2.25. Just a couple more staples. Just it's I don't know. It's just not really like a sector I focus much on around earnings, but occasionally I get a big move out of one of them. I don't know. I just don't think I'm gonna be playing Campbell Soup. Ollie's, so about 6 points is what's priced in. It can be a volatile retailer when it reports, and it has been relatively sideways for a while. Um, but it is another one of these stocks that it's reporting earnings but only has weekly options. So to play like a volatility strategy, you'd have to lay out a little bit more money, or try to get risk down for the contracts, just because you're paying for a little extra time value. After the close on Wednesday, it's really only one name, Five Below. About 13 points is what's priced in. So Dollar General, Dollar Tree both snapped back real sharply when they reported last week. This is a little bit different than those two, but it definitely can still be a move around earnings. I don't have a great read on it, and I think with the options at like 13, I need to pick a direction, and I just don't know what direction. I don't have like a lot of conviction in it. Um, it might be like a game time decision for me, or maybe I'll even like look at like Dollar General or Dollar Tree if the option pricing is reasonable in those. It's maybe like a sympathy play. Before the open on Thursday, a couple of Chinese names. Billy, which is priced in at about 3, um, and then Neo, which is priced in about 2. So there have been some big moves on the Chinese names this quarter, but I also feel like these patterns are more like swing type trades if they can hold and build out of these like long downtrends. So I mean, I think both of these could move, but I think my focus is going to be after the numbers come out. If they look good and they continue to hold and build, because there seems to be more potential over a longer time frame than like just in like the immediate like earnings reaction. After the close on Thursday, DocuSign, which I guess is kind of like one of the bigger names of the week, pricing in 15 points. It's had a couple large moves on recent reports, and it's been in a lower range for a couple months. So I mean, options definitely are not cheap at 15 points, but I mean, it has moved lately, and maybe if I can get risk down, could be something I take a look at. Also, I feel like this could like maybe move money around in software, some other like stay at home, work remote type names, right? Like a Zoom, and like Zoom was actually pretty good when they reported recently. So um, I I mean, if it's up a lot, if it's up the next few days and rallies into earnings, maybe I'm a little bit more cautious. But if it stays down here or even pulls back, maybe I'll be a little bit more bullish. But it'll have to see how the week goes and what the options look like going into Thursday after the close. And then lastly, Stitch Fix, which is priced in at $1.75. I mean, it's been broken for a while. It actually used to be a great earnings name. It used to have massive swings, but now it's under $9, and I mean, it's just totally out of play. The only way I feel like it gets better would be with like a surprisingly good report, but I mean, I don't even know what the chances of that are at this point. So maybe I'll take a look at it just because of what it's done in the past, but it probably won't be a focus for me. And that's it because there's nothing scheduled Friday before the open. So, a little bit slower, but there are a couple big names. And Friday before the open is when you get the CPI reading. So there should be some late in the week fireworks just with that. So um, hoping for a busy week, hoping for some good action. So we'll see. All right. If you like this video and you're looking for more information about trading events with options, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Have a great weekend, stay well, and I will talk to you